We will see how that goes, given the fact I'm hotspotting.
It's all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games.
It is. Well, welcome, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of our Build to Bronze.
It's great to be here with you all, and we'll be sending the recording out to those of you who don't have it. So a couple of housekeeping things. Hopefully you've all joined the Telegram group. I set it up wrong. See, learning a new technology platform. I set it up as a channel. I had to make you all admins. So now everything in there looks like Build to Bronze. So I will, I should have set it up as a group. But anyway, you live and you learn these things, right? So I should have watched some YouTubes on how to use Telegram most effectively before I did that possibly. But anyway, that's okay. So I just wanted to see if a couple of people wanted to check in. The big thing for last week was doing your why with what you got out of that exercise and, you know, how it helped inspire you. And I'm just going to let Justin and Janine know my computer is saying that my Mac needs help to cool down, so I may cut out. So just to let you know.
It needs to cool down. Oh, crikey. Get that laptop a cold drink. Yep, it's Queensland. All right. So, most important, and what we talked about last week was about getting focused on what you want to create, not just the technical goals and the income and so forth, but the why, the emotional why. So now is a great opportunity within the safety of the group and amongst your colleagues and peers to be supported in envisioning and embodying your vision. Who would like to be vulnerable and share their why? Who did some work last week and asked themselves the question again and again and again to dig deep, take off some of those layers and get deep? Go, Julie Colston, over to you. Therese is next.
Hello, everyone. We made it this time. Technology got the better of us last week too. So we actually listened to the call last night and spent a good couple of hours really reflecting on our individual whys and then our joint whys. When you do allow yourself the time and space, and Nicole, that was really great advice to just reflect and then go a bit deeper. Definitely got to the point of finding the why that made me cry. And then found out how much of that was actually what was stopping and blocking me as well. It was a twofold thing. My why was so important, but it was actually leading me to what's stopping me as well, which for me in the journey I've been on has been my health, and which is why I've reached out to Julie Mack for the ASEA to make a change for that, and realizing just how much more I want with the little level of health improvement that I've had, has actually given me a hunger for wanting more of that, but not only for me, but wanting more for other people. So that passion to like share this bit of gold with as many people as possible so that they too can have that freedom has really, I finally, for the first time in a very long time, actually completed the whole task of finding my why. It's one of those things I've done about 150 times and never really progressed very far. So I'm actually feeling I had the best night's sleep, and I feel really excited that I've actually drilled down to that bit of gold, which, helped me set a whole heap of other goals last night on top of that. So things to do with the business, but things to do with health and things to do with actually what else I want out of life and what I'm going to claim back. So yes, I'm here. This time we're building to bronze.
That is beautiful. Round of applause for Jules and Steve. Congratulations, guys. I love that what you said. There are a couple of things that I would just want to highlight there. Great work, Steve. One is you tried many times and hadn't completed it, but this time you got through it. And that was definitely the case for me when we did goal setting for many, many years. I struggled getting better at it. But when you nail it, you feel so good. And it's like everything relaxes, everything feels good, and it's like laser, right? Instead of being a bright shining light, you start to laser that attention and cut through the red tape and get it done. The second thing was that your why is tied up. There's a relationship, maybe an inverse relationship, with what's blocking you. And so often the opportunity we have in life is the very adversity we may feel is keeping us small, or we're afraid of, or we contract from, and we feel disempowered about. So that is awesome that you got into that, and it became very real and very personal, right? The why becomes very personal when it's like, oh my goodness, you realize that this is the opportunity to deal with that stuff that's been, making you feel not great. Yep. Maybe you feel dirty, or you just feel corrupted inside. Breaking through with your why, breaking through even more so with the actions to achieve your goals. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you look back and you go, oh my goodness, I did it. And you have that knowing that you have the power to overcome that adversity. Yes. And take advantage of that opportunity. That is the best thing in the world. In my experience, the best thing in the world. Fulfillment. Amen. Yeah. Amen. Love it. Great, Jules. So good.
Can I share one more thing?
Yeah.
On top of that, yesterday, while we were reflecting about coming back and watching this tonight and doing all that stuff last night, I actually had realized that the part of the pain point was my body, and was the lack of self-control and discipline to actually really go after what it was that was causing me the most amount of distress and holding me back the most. And at the moment, it's my weight, which for a whole range of different things has been the big issue, and the number of kilos that I need to get back to being the true me and the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. And even making a decision in the morning, knowing that this is where this journey was going to take me, I'm going to have to face it, actually gave me some framework to actually go, do I really want it? And if I do want it, what is it going to take every day to make that happen? And so I set a goal that I needed this certain amount of weight off by a date next year. And then I went and drilled further down and went, okay, what does that look like every month? How much is that every week? How much is that every day? Until I got down to the daily little piece and thought, oh, that's not even blinking hard. Why have I stopped myself with the big number when I only have to aim for the little number every day, do that consistently, and then remind myself of all the different books I've read and all the different network marketing and all the goal setting of the momentum of one little piece every day will give you that J curve that will get you to that goal. So all the things I know I've actually crystallized into a plan, and I've got it written down, and I've got a number on it, and I've got a date, and it's actually completed, ready to laminate today and stick on the wall. Hallelujah.
Fantastic.
It feels really good.
Who wants to be fired up like Jules, right? Feel the energy in her voice. Like she's unstoppable now. And what you're talking about is exactly what we want to talk about today, is the DMO. Break it down into the daily steps. Fantastic. Who else here is inspired by Jules and they want to change their body shape? Yeah, fantastic. I come back from school holidays, and the last week in Norfolk, I fell in love with beer, put on a couple of kilos. I've done intermittent fasting this last week, not every day, most days. Bang, 2 kilos gone, feel a little bit better. And it's the next 10 would be really good. Let's keep going. Right. All right, great work. Thank you, Jules, for sharing. Over to Therese.
Hello.
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 Great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, as always. So this is my why that I did last year with Janine, and she really did nut it out with me. She doesn't hold back. And I was reviewing it, and I feel like it's still quite relevant, and I have blue tack on it. This is my why. It's all green is my favorite color, and I've got it all pretty, and I've got it up on the wall.
Fantastic.
Okay. I'm all nervous. I don't know why. Here we go. I share the technology because I did not know about them when my husband was very sick and passed away some years ago. I share to help spread the word in the hope that I may be able to support someone else going through these similar challenges. knowing what I know now and learning from my own wellness journey to potentially make a change in their life for the better.
Beautiful.
That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations. You're nervous about it because it's important to you, yeah? It shifts you internally, moves you.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I've read it lots of times. I've shared it before, but yeah, it's still very relevant, and it gets me motivated. It really does make a difference. It really does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Therese, and encourage you all to keep digging. The process is in the doing, not in the done. Fantastic, Jules. You got your why. Absolutely take action now with your DMO. And, on occasion, all of us can reflect and refine our DMO because it's going to change over time. Hopefully, it's going to get deeper and more real, more fulfilling. And as we grow and become more, our feeling and our inspiration of what's possible for us to be will also grow. Okay, very exciting. Sharon, I don't know if you're able to, but you briefly spoke about the 7-something, and it's about when you're coaching and you are digging and you're taking those layers off. It's about asking the question. Are you able to share, Sharon, or have I caught you in the middle of something maybe?
No,
I talked a bit about it last week, about paraphrasing the question and keep asking the question. But
so, yeah, I think Andrea might have the actual link handy that she could post up in the thread. There's a little video on asking the question. Andrea, do you have that? Do you remember what the guy's name is that does that? And it's about asking you the question, like if I say to you, why are you doing this? Why do you do ASEA, Justin? So if you answer that, can you just give me just a quick answer?
Yeah, because I want to help people.
But why is that important to you?
Because I understand what it's like to suffer when their health isn't good, and I don't want them to suffer, and I'll feel better knowing that I've helped them.
So why is it important to you that people don't suffer?
Because I want to be my best, and I want other people to be their best.
And why is it so important to you for you to be your best and other people to be their best? Why is that so important to you?
Because I realise that we really haven't tapped our greatest resource on the planet, which is human beings. I'm most inspired when I'm with someone who's really in their power and embodying a fulfilling life.
And so, Justin, if I keep going, normally there'll come a tier about this between 5 and 7. You'll have a tier. So if you just continually ask that question, why is that so important to you? You'll often find that people are doing this for a very different reason than they might think they're doing it. So yeah. I do this business because people deserve to be free, right?
Yep.
People absolutely deserve to be free. But if you asked me, I wouldn't start off with that. So there's just a little method that you can do. There's a little method that you can do, and if you can just do it with each other and just keep asking until you get really emotional about it, and that's your real why. So if we kept digging deeper and deeper, and we just say, like I can hear in the last lady that just spoke, that there's Therese, I could feel your emotion in that, and it's so meaningful to you. And you have a big why. It's such a huge why. So if anyone's stuck with their why, just call out to your accountability buddies and reach out, and we can just do the 7 steps of why is that so important to you. And you will get there before you even know it. So Andrea lives with me, and we often sit at the table and we get to about 5, and then we're both bawling our eyes out. Right? We get to 5 questions and it's like, oh, stop it. Because we have different whys. We have different reasons for doing this. So Andrea might be she might be listening in, but I'll see if she can put the...
I've just posted it, Sharon.
Thanks, Janine. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Janine.
So, if we can, feel free, if anyone wants to do that, I'm happy to just take anyone through that little process. It could take 10 minutes, it could take 20, who knows?
Fantastic, Sharon. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I wanted you to hear it from someone else. I kind of went through that last week to a degree, but it's the same stuff. It's just sometimes it takes someone else to ask you. And thank you so much for the resource, Sharon and Janine, for the video, because now that is super duplicatable. You can share it with your people. Remember, as you become a leader, you want to share these skills, and the more clear and more motivating and inspiring you can find your why, the more empowered people will be to take action and transform their life and shine brighter, right? And I was going there, Sharon, you know, what is the more emotional why for me? And it's about fulfilling, you know, human potential and my potential, and that I am actually doing my best that I can to help others. So yeah, I love it. You're totally on track. Now let's start to move towards, and I'm gonna hand back over to Nicole. How do we actually make change? What is the daily method of operation that we do in order to do income producing activity, to do duplication, to build this extraordinary life so that you can have everything you want in your why? Did you want to take it on, Nikki?
Yeah, sure. So one more, just a little bit of housekeeping. If anyone having trouble getting in touch with their accountability groups, just reach out to me and I will connect you guys via email or whatever, because they're going to be a really important part of keeping you on track daily, right? Because it's easy to get busy. You know, you didn't sleep well, you woke up in a bad mood, you know, you just don't feel like it today, your kid was sick, like your dog was sick, whatever, you know, whatever it is. Like, we as human beings are, you know, masters of making like excuses, right? Like, we all have been guilty of it. Like, I don't know, there's, you know, everyone is guilty of that, including myself. So yeah, it's easy to do that. So your accountability group is going to be a really big part of helping you stay on track with your daily method of operation. So DMO, or daily method of operation, is simply the things that you do daily to keep yourself on track. Like, so there'll be things that you do for yourself and your self-care, as well as the things that you do to move your ASEA business forward. And so this is where, you know, you get from, like, you know, your goal and your why, and you break it down, and you do have these daily habits that you do, okay, that you do when you feel like it, and you do when you don't really feel like it, okay? So, you know, Jules shared about how she has made this commitment to her health and to losing weight. So that involves, you know, actions every day to get towards that bigger goal and break it down. So that would be something, you know, that she is doing for herself, but then there's actions every day for your ASEA business. And this is going to be different for each and every one of us. So for me, you know, the thing that is like first for me and above all else that puts me in the best state of being is to work out when I wake up. And if I do that, I am much better for the whole day, and my whole family is happier, and I actually get more of my business activities done as well. So for each of us, that is going to be a different thing, right? So it's really, really important that you get clear and you have something that works for yourself. So again, you know, I'm big on like putting things up onto where you can see them. So I'm just going to try and share my screen. Hopefully my computer's going to behave. Yes, it is. Okay, that's not the file I wanted, but let me just hang on. Sorry. Yeah, on a different computer here, and it's a little slow. So this is like something that Justin and I used when we very first started ASEA. It's actually the exact same form. You can see it's really old. It's got the old ASEA logo on it. Justin's got his right
Still
there.
use it.
That's right. And you know, I think that people often will look at people who are up to big things in their life, or they're very successful, things like that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. But it's just simple things every single day, right? So, you know, a lot of you have heard me talk about my simple practices. You know, I still use it. I still have a paper diary, and every night before I finish work, I write down in that paper diary all my appointments the next day off my calendar. I actually do a lot of it at the beginning of the week, but I check it every night. And then I'll write down the 3 key things that I need to finish the next day. I'll keep all of my overall stuff online for my business activities, like longer term things. I use Asana, I use a digital calendar, but like that is my practice that I do every day. So it just keeps me focused and on track with what I need to do. And that's the idea of this daily method of operation. So you can see you've got your personal growth activities, or, you know, you can like have them as your self-care activities. So for me, like daily working out, I know if I like slide into a pattern of missing that, my whole life doesn't work. So that's something that is critical for me to be at my best. So I've learned that the hard way. But it could be, you know, that you're going to spend some time reading a book, or, you know, saying your daily affirmations. Like we were in a really good habit of doing that as a family, and we fell out of the habit of it. I don't even know how we did. Hey, Justin, we just fell out of the habit of it. And it's like, why did we do that? Why did we stop doing that? It was such a good thing to do. And then your results orientated business activities. So these are the things that are going to move your ASEA business forward. So it's like, how many people are you contacting and inviting to take a look at ASEA? You know, how many people are you presenting to? How many people are you following up with? How many, once you start to grow your team, how many of those are you reaching out? And so these are the daily things that you need to be doing. Of course, you're going to have weekly things on your schedule, like this call, like the team calls that you need to show up and be at. But this is like your daily non-negotiable things that you do. And so this is going to look different for, you know, for each of you, depending on you know, the methods that you're using to build your ASEA business. Like it's going to be slightly different. Obviously, we all are doing the same, you know, contact, invite, present, follow-up steps, and then, you know, onboarding, training, enrolling new customers, getting them a good product experience, training them how to build a business. But, you know, some people are doing it in person, some people are doing it online. So there's some people like do like a lot of phone calls. So the actual things that you do, you can tailor them to yourself. So this is an example of a DMO recommended by like Simon Chan, who's a network marketing trainer, for people who are building on social media. So different things that he is recommending that people who are using that method of building their business do each day. But the important thing is that you come up with your DMO. And, you know, I would also recommend that you put this up where you see it, and you know, have some way of checking that off each day that you're doing those activities, and following through with them. So this is what we did when we started with our ASEA business, is we just had sorry, my phone rang. My phone wasn't on silent. That you have these, that you have this where you can see it every day. So this document, yes, it is in Genie Go, this document. It's with
I'm going to put a link in a Dropbox link in the chat box now.
Yep, I can put a Dropbox link in the chat box, and I can also put it in the Telegram group. So that document is there, so you can do that as well. So I don't know if anyone else, Janine or Justin, has anything to add on DMO, but it's really, really important. And the important thing is to do it when you don't feel like it. You know, you feel like watching Netflix, or you feel like, you know, doing something else, like you'd still do it anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, like I noticed, I mean, I've got disciplines that have been in place for years and years, so I'm not going to put that on there because that just happens anyway. And it's interesting, there are some disciplines that have been with me for decades, and then there's those disciplines that disappear, the one that you're talking about, like the one you mentioned, Nicole, like things go out of existence. It's really weird. And, you know, I did a voice recording of my abundant life, because when we hear our own voice, you know, like a description of how our life and how we feel and what we do and what's important to us, it really impacts the unconscious mind. And I just realized I'd stopped listening to that. So that's gone onto the top of my personal growth activities. So you want to start to identify, because it's really just doing those small, consistent activities daily that transform your life. And you know, Jules gave a really good description before, how she just broke it down. You know, you're either going in this trajectory, or you do a little bit every day, and it'll take you way into a whole different space into the future. So yeah, if you're overwhelmed with it, reach out, get some support around it, because it's really, you got to keep it simple and just something you can do every day. If it's too big a stretch, then you're not going to do it every day. So you really need to be realistic about that. Yeah. Or if you just, what's the old word? You're avoiding it, then that's an opportunity for growth and development.
Absolutely. I've put a few quotes in the chat box. I don't know if you can see it. So one of the things that I kind of have taken on is every year I choose a few role models. And this year for me, Viktor Frankl is one of my role models, one of my heroes, as is Elon Musk. I think he's a freaking legend at the moment. And, that is, and as Bertus Norton, our founder, said, we are valued by as we make ourselves valuable. For those that don't know, Tesla's shares went up 670% last year, skyrocketed. Amazon's went up 70%. He's the richest man in the world. Tesla is the second richest man in the world, but his trajectory is way higher than the Amazon guy, right? So it's about how we make ourselves valuable. So I look for people I really am inspired by. And these three quotes, I think, really go to the heart of what we're talking about today. The first one is, life is not primarily a quest for pleasure, as Freud believed, or a quest for power, as Alfred Adler taught, but a quest for meaning. The greatest task for any person is to find the meaning of his or her own life. Viktor Frankl. Now that's our why, right? That really gets to the why. And then this is the why the why is so important. Second quote, when a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. So that's why you have to dig so deep and pull the layers off the onion to get emotional about your why statement and your mission, your personal mission statement. Maybe write down some values as well that you want to live into. And then the third quote is got to do with our DMO. Everything can be taken away from a man and woman, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. The DMO is your way. It's your personal and professional disciplines to build. And it didn't come to me overnight. And I lose it sometimes. I lose it regularly. But I put the DMO in front of me and I continually make a commitment to feel into doing that work. And that transformed my life, my family's life. And all of you are here because I did that. I made that personal choice. So that is what I just encourage all of you to really fulfill your DMO is so key, not just to your life, but to everyone's life that you're going to impact. It's the ripple effect. The wave goes out. Be a leader and model the way. Do we have anyone that wants to share about their DMO, questions, thoughts, concerns, comments?
So I would just say that, this is your activity. Like, you need to get your DMO done and you share it with your accountability group. And then your accountability group is the vehicle to help you keep accountable to your DMO as you build that muscle of doing it every day, right? So it's building a new habit can be a challenge sometimes, right? And putting that in place and, keeping that consistent. And as, I mentioned and Janine mentioned, sometimes they just, like, you have a habit that's, a great habit that you have in your life and it just disappears sometimes. And, then you have to work to bring that back and make that just something that you do every day. So really important that you do this and use that accountability group as a vehicle to keep you accountable to your daily method of operation, because this is where you'll achieve your why, you'll achieve your goals, you'll achieve your dreams, and it's being in the daily activity. And sometimes it'll be really uncomfortable and you won't want to do it. So yeah, we'll have a couple of minutes now if anyone has any questions too.
And if you'd like to use this is a check-in. Okay, so a success check-in, and it's got the classic questions that we ask when we want to check in, but it's also got a table at the bottom of it which you can fill in, and that can, one, give you some ideas about what that DMO is going to look like, but two, be accountable around it as well. So that's a second Dropbox link that I'll put in the chat there, and we'll share it in the group as well. But that's how, if you want to take that on to be accountable in a written form and start tracking your activity, that's that success check-in. Any questions, thoughts, comments? Anyone want to share about the DMO? Yeah, is that Steve putting your hand up? No, or just settling into your seat? That's all good.
As a few people within the team know, I did 28 years in the Army, and I think the Defence Forces are a perfect example of the DMO. You're out in the field and you have a set routine that you do every day. Get up in the morning, do a defensive operation, stand down from that, pack your gear, eat, clean your weapons, everything. And that happens every day at the same time. And especially at recruit training, you find after a couple of weeks that the recruits, it becomes automatic and they do it. And it blends in with the rest of their team, whether it be a platoon or a company size, that if somebody doesn't do the right thing, you get a loss of cohesion amongst the team. So everybody knows their little part. They do their activity at the specified time, and it brings the team together as a cohesive unit. And it allows us to achieve the objectives we need for the day or the week or whatever.
And Steve, can I ask, and in the example that there's added pressure or stress, because that is a daily method of operation and it is a routine, then you become under pressure, hopefully not in actual real combat, but even just bad weather, might be freezing cold. You might have a few people that are down, or a logistics issue. Because it's a routine, it helps strengthen that resolve and discipline to continue ahead anyway, right?
Yeah, an example that I remember reading with the British Household Division, and an outsider said, why is it that you go through this and there's all this yelling and everything to be able to get things done? And they said, we do it so it becomes ingrained, so that when you're out in combat conditions and, for example, the battery in the radio dies, you want to ensure that the radio operator has got a new battery and it's in the right spot, so you can just automatically go to it and then continue your operations.
So your training takes over because you're doing it every day. It's like you might have a little hiccup, but you kick back into your training, you get it done.
Yep.
And that's life, right? Life is full of distractions. It's full of stresses. Like, we look at the world we're living in. It is so distracted. And so this DMO is what gives you the power to laser focus your light and cut through the rubbish and get you to your goals that you want to achieve. So every day, that's why it's a daily method of operation. You can have weekly tasks as well, but I really would encourage you to have at least 3 personal, 3 business, and income producing activities in order to keep moving your discipline forward. Yes, with the activity, results should come, but it's actually the activity that matters most. Does that sound good to everyone? Any questions? Anyone need support with that?
I have a comment about the success tracker. There's no way I would ever keep record of whether or not I've done my DMO. It's not just enough to tick those tasks off each day, because especially in the way we do business and when we're sharing a SEER, we've got to know who we've spoken to and when we follow them up, and then we have to follow them up. And without that tracker, I have no idea what I've done. I've modified it a bit to suit some of the other things that I feel I need to do, but it's just essential for me. Can't do without it.
Awesome. Thank you, Margot. The second, so I've just put both success trackers in. The second one is actually a fillable PDF one. If you want to do it digitally and not have to print the paper out, that's another option for you. Great. Any other questions, comments? Everyone feel good about what this week's task is to create your DMO and then start to feel that discipline of doing the DMO. Anyone need support or help with that? Is it challenging? I tell you, it's nowhere near as challenging as what we're asking the Push to Platinum and Diamond group to do. They're getting very uncomfortable, but it's been very good.
That's right. It was like 3 interviews in their first week.
Facebook Live interviews, yeah. Giddy up. They're like up leveling in all their branding and online presence and all sorts of cool stuff. So you'll get there too, but start with the basics.
Awesome. Okay, so Charlotte has a question about what to send when we're inviting. So we might go into that in a bit more depth in another call. So I would recommend that people like stick with the things in the prospecting tab in Genie Go as an initial thing, but always, sharing your story and asking permission. Like, so, this is what it's done for me. Can I send you some information? And then, I would stick with those kind of links. They were curated across the team. I know Sue's had really good results with sending the new medical professionals video that came out a fairly short time ago. I think that's quite a good one because it's kind of like got the stories as well as like that medical thing in there as well. So
yeah, behind the breakthrough, the experts.
Behind the breakthrough, Nicole.
Yeah, behind the breakthrough.
Yeah, that's fabulous. That's my first thing I send everybody.
Yeah, and Alan's put that on Amazing Molecules as well too, if you're using Amazing Molecules now as well. So they're my go-to things. All right, well, I don't want to keep everyone too long. So we might do a little bit of a training on that, how to invite sometime as well. That's a good training topic, but it's great to see you all here. Everyone says send something different. Yes, yeah, they do. So I always have just personally sent like one video or Alan's websites. That's the main things that we kind of used when we were doing. People have their, favorite things. Like if someone had approached me with a SIA with a long, boring science video, I wouldn't have watched it. And I have a science degree, right? So you do need to ask people what they want to know more about. And remember, facts tell, stories sell. Like some people are really like, there's some personality types that really want to go into all of like that science, and a SIA has a lot of them in a SIA that are in a SIA. But the fact is that the majority of people out there are not that way inclined. So you really do need to be aware of that you may not necessarily be talking to yourself.
Yeah, and it's about relationships, right? There's a relationship business. Our ability to to feel and get a sense of where a person's at and provide the right information for them to move them closer to their why, whether their why is subconscious or not, to what's important to them. So some people are very science orientated. Some people are detail orientated. Some people just want to come along for the ride because it's heaps of fun. Some people, getting stuff done and getting the result, the outcome, is important to them. Some people want recognition. Some people want money. Having those conversations to find out what they want, and then tying that emotional want to the action that's going to help them get there. So Charlotte, that's some great points there, and we will definitely go more into depth around that. But look at what is it that the person wants, and how are you delivering the information to take them to the next step? If you've got a highly extroverted person that really loves just being a part of the party and all that sort of stuff, I probably wouldn't send them a video. I'd invite them to a Tuesday night live call like the one tonight, particularly with me speaking, because I'm like more like that, right? If you've got someone who's like very detail orientated, but also super nurturing and kind of wants, you might have a different speaker. You might have a video, like, for example, Dr. Gary Emerson, right? He's a genius. He's not the fastest person to say anything, but he goes into detail and is super nurturing. So that's a personality type. There's different personalities.
Which you would not send to me.
No, because if you get the wrong information, the wrong person, you're not going to get that result. So start thinking about, within the limited list of the prospecting tools, what are the tools that are going to suit that person the most? A person's got a really big health challenge. I'm not going to send them an athlete's video. I'm not going to send a business video to a person that just wants to try it for himself. So start to use the tools correctly, and then ask them for a commitment to watch it. Yeah. And to give you some feedback, to reconnect after that and discuss what they may like about it.
So if they're cold market and they're strangers, I would recommend that you send something like Alan's website, where then they can pick what they're interested in, right? So for me, what got me interested in ASEA was someone was like, I think that you should try this product. It will really help you. And that was enough, because I am like a fast decision maker, right? Like I'm like bang, bang, bang. Like, it's Ask Justin drives him crazy sometimes, because I'm just like, just do it. And so there's like different, and someone else that wouldn't be the thing. Like now, if someone was introducing me to ASEA now, and I hadn't heard about it before, the most powerful way they could do would be to show me a before and after photo of like pure vanity. Like that would get me like this. It's true, because I have like other things people have recommended that I use. So it really depends on the person, because that's like easy and quick. Whereas someone else, they'll sit and you'll send them Amazing Molecules. They'll watch every video on there. They'll read all of the science papers, right? So if you really don't know, like it is cold market, that's what I would send, because then people can make up their own mind. The photo gallery on the Amazing Molecules might be enough for some people, right? Like just, before and after photos. Gee, I would like that.
I probably wouldn't use Redox Results, Charlotte, until they've got some information and you go to Redox Results looking for something to relate them to their condition. I would prefer to use the Facebook group for that.
Yeah.
Because at least they're also going to see other posts, and it's almost like an automated follow-up. But we're starting to get technical into doing invites, and maybe we'll do more of that next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, it's about setting the activity that you're doing and ideally tracking it as well. Because if you do find that you're sending out a lot of invites, but you're not getting to the next phase of follow-up, then that's where you need to identify there's some training or something missing there. And that's important. You find the blockages in your business, you get them out of the way so that it all flows, so it's flowing nicely.
Yeah.
And your funnel is full and your wallet will become so. All right, everyone. Fantastic. It's great to see all you smiley faces out there. Thank you very much for being a part of this movement and getting the molecules into people and making them healthy. Magical things happen. Magical things happen. I had something happen to me today that I hope to have a great business builder come to me and come to our team. And, it's just your intention is important. That in his words, he's been harassed by other people. And he knew I was a part of it, because people need to know that you're in business as well. So you need to let people know what business you're in and what you're doing. But because I always add value and have quality conversation, I strive to add value and have quality conversations with where a person's at, rather than pushing my agenda on them. He came to me and he went, aren't you involved with ASEA? Isn't that what you do? Yep, blah, blah, blah. And people invested a lot of time in harassing him, recruiting him. He's like, I'm going to come with you. Someone else did all the work. Fantastic, But I will also do a lot of work for him when he's part of our organisation. And he knows that. He knows I'm going to look after him. So beware of intention as well. My intention is always to serve them. People feel it. All right. Anything else we need to cover, Janine, Nicole?
So remember, Justin is doing the 7:30 call tonight. He's back in the saddle after a bit of a break from doing the 7:30 calls on Tuesday night. And then at 8 o'clock on our team call, we actually have, make sure you get your teams on there, because we actually have everyone in the Platinum Diamond Push program sharing what they're really excited for, because I gave them all a little sneak peek of a special Diamonds call. So they could hear what was coming up with ASEA. So, yeah.
Since they're upcoming Diamonds as well.
Since they're upcoming Diamonds, yeah.
Because the higher you go, the more you get to know. All right. Love you all. Have a great week. Look forward to seeing you next week and on tonight's call. Invite all your peeps. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.